अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय। नितिल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नितिल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद। नितिल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद शत श्रीमद् भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज। नितिल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। नितिल प्रविष्ट महाभागवत श्री गोक्षर बाबूजी महाराज की जय। निविष्ट श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति ठाकुर की जय। नितिल प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपनु गौरी गुरु वर्ग की जय। स्वापार्षद श्री गौर नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीगण की जय। श्री गिरिराज महाराज की जय। रानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय। श्री हरिनाम is Shivas Thakur Thiruva जय शिवास ठाकुर की जय। तृतीय शुभ तिरुभाव तिथि की जय। श्री हम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। हरि बोल। I forgot to send the link in our group. 1 second. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Radhika Priyatmane Shri Śrīmad Bhakti Vedanta Narayaniti Namine. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Mate Bhakti Siddhanta Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane. Vanchakalpataru Vyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyaeva Cha Patitanam Pabhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Dayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gotvishe Namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalai Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Yang prajantam apeta krityam tayano viraha katara ajuhava putreti tanmayataya taravo bhinedu stang sarva bhuta hridayamanatosmi. Nanam namaskritya narang chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet. Shrinvatang Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Antasto Bhadrani Vidhu Suritsatam Nashta Prayeshva Vadreshu Nitya Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Tavai Vasmi Na Jivam Tvaya Vin Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tvayamang Charanantikam Bhaktyana Aparadha Lakshai Kshiptastakama Ditaranga Madhe Kripa Mai Tvam Sharanam Prapanna Inde Namaste Charana Ravindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Go Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribo, Champak Didi, Raseshwari Mataji, Ganga Didi, Buddha Didi, Madhavi Didi, Dandavat Pranams to all of you. Oh, 1 second. I just remembered. No. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I just need to. I'm going to forget 2 things. I just need to write it down really quick. Mm, okay. There. All right. Let's begin. Oh, I just realized that like after I already went live, I realized that today's the disappearance day of Srivas Pandit. So I'm not going to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur today. Yeah, change of plans. And I'm going to finish up this 6th chapter, and then we'll read the glories of Srivas Pandit. So, yeah. All right. Where did we finish yesterday? Okay. 1 second. I think we read up to verse 34 yesterday. And let's read from the Bhagavat Pravaha just to catch us up. This is a summary of what we read yesterday. Library. Here. Okay. In the absence of Nanda Maharaj, a demoness named Putana entered Gokul, instigated by Kamsa. Disguising herself as a beautiful woman, she attracted the attention and won the trust of all the Vrajvasis. She then entered the inner chambers of Nanda's house. Smearing her breasts with a fierce poison, Putana took infant Krishna on her lap and started feeding him her poisonous milk. The Supreme Lord eagerly sucked her milk, along with the poison. Sorry. Krishna eagerly sucked her milk, along with poison, and then her very life heirs. Unable to tolerate the acute pain, Putana loudly wailed and ran out of the house. Assuming her original gigantic and ghastly form as a witch, she collapsed, crushing all the trees under her 12-mile-long body. Seeing this unusual incident, the gopis were terrified. The gopis picked up baby Krishna, who was unharmed and playing happily on the body of the Rakshasi. And Rohini were totally shocked to do anything. The other gopis, who were also bound by maternal affection for Krishna, did various rituals and chanted mantras to invoke the protection of Lord Vishnu on the baby. The Vrajavasis then cut the body of Putana and burned with wood. The burning body of Putana emanated a sweet fragrance due to its being purified by Krishna's touch. Because she offered her milk to Krishna, although poisoned, Krishna nonetheless gave her the position of being a motherly nurse in the spiritual world. Krishna accepted Putana's motherly attire and actions, overlooking her wicked intentions. Who else could be more merciful than Krishna? All right, so the last verse we read. The inhabitants of Vraj cut the Putana into pieces with the help of axes. Then they threw the pieces far away, covered them with wood, and burned them to ashes. All right. Oh, and then because of Krishna's having sucked the breast of the Rakshasi Putana, when Krishna was immediately freed of all material contamination, her sinful reactions automatically vanished, and therefore, when her gigantic body was being burnt, the smoke emanating from her body was fragrant like aguru incense. Okay, this is where we read up to 35. Putana loka balagni rakshasi rudhirashana jigangsayapi haraye stanam datvapasargatim. Kim puna sorry. Kim puna shraddhaya bhaktya Krishna paramatmane yachantamam kimnu raktastan mataro yata. Sorry guys. Putana was always hankering for the blood of human children, and with that desire she came to kill Krishna. But because she offered her breast to the Lord, she attained the greatest achievement. What then is to be said of those who had natural devotion and affection for Krishna as mothers, and who offered him their breasts to suck who offered them their breasts to suck, or offered something very dear as a mother offers something to a child? Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Putana had no affection for Krishna. Rather, she was envious and wanted to kill him. Nonetheless, because with or without knowledge she offered her breast, she attains the highest achievement in life. The offerings of devotees attracted to Krishna and parental love are always sincere. A mother likes to offer something to her child with affection and love. There is no question of envy. So here we make a comparative study. If Putana could attain selectively envious making an offering to Krishna, what is to be said of Mother Yashoda, other gopis, who served Krishna with such great affection and love, offering everything for Krishna's satisfaction? Gopis automatically achieved the highest perfection. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommended the affection of the gopis, either in maternal affection or in conjugal love, highest perfection in life. Ramyakna Vrajavadu Vargena Ya Kalpita. Padbhyam Bhakta Hridi Padbhyam Bhakta Hridi Stabhyam Vandhyabhyam Lokavanditai Angyasya Samakramya Bhagavan Apitatstanam Yatu Dhanya Pisa Swarga Mavapa Janani Gatim Krishna Bhukta Stanakshira Kim Ugavo Numatara. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is always situated within the core of the heart of the pure devotee, and he is always offered prayers by such worshipable personalities as Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. Because Krishna embraced Putana's body with great pleasure and sucked her breast, although she was a great witch, she had the position of a mother in the transcendental world and thus achieved the highest perfection. What then is to be said of the cows whose nipples Krishna sucked with great pleasure, who offered their milk very jubilantly with affection, exactly like that of a mother? Purport. These verses explain how devotional service rendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whether directly or indirectly, knowingly or unknowingly, becomes successful. Putana was neither a devotee nor a non-devotee. She was actually a demoniac witch instructed by Kamsa to kill Krishna. Nonetheless, in the beginning, she assumed the form of a very beautiful woman and approached Krishna exactly like an affectionate mother, so that Mother Yashoda and Rohini did not doubt her sincerity. The Lord took all this into consideration, and thus she was automatically promoted to a position like that of Mother Yashoda. As explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti, there are various roles one may play in such a position. Putana was immediately promoted to Vaikuntha Loka, which is also sometimes described as Swarga. The Swarga mentioned in this verse is not the material heavenly planet, but the transcendental world. In Vaikuntha Loka, Putana attained the position of a nurse, Datuchitam, as described by Uddhav. Putana was elevated to the position of a nurse and maidservant in Goloka Vrindavan to assist Mother Yashoda. Payangsiyasam api bhat trasneha snutan nyalam Bhagavan Devaki putra kaivadhyakila tasam aviratam Krishne kurvati nam sutekshan na puna kalpate rajan sangsara jnana sambhava. The supremacy of Godhead Krishna is the bestower of many benedictions, including liberation, kaivalya, our oneness with the Brahman effulgence. For that personality of Godhead, the gopis always felt maternal love, and Krishna sucked their breast with full satisfaction. Therefore, because of their relationship as mother and son, although the gopis were engaged in various family activities, one should never think that they returned to this material world after leaving their bodies. Purport. The advantage of Krishna consciousness is described herein. Krishna consciousness gradually develops on the transcendental platform. One may think of Krishna as Supreme Personality. One may think of Krishna as a Supreme Master. One may think of friend. One may think of Krishna as a Supreme Son, or one may think of Krishna as a Supreme Conjugal Lover. If one is connected with Krishna in any of these transcendental relationships, the course of one's material life is understood to have already ended, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 4:9. Tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mam eti. For such devotees, going back to Godhead is guaranteed. Na puna kalpate rajan sangsaro jnanasambhava. This verse also guarantees that devotees who constantly think of Krishna in a particular relationship will never return to the material world. In this material world of samsara, there are the same relationships. One thinks, here's my son, here's my wife, here's my lover, or here's my friend. But these relationships are temporary illusions. Sorry. Ajnana Sambhava. Such a consciousness awakens in ignorance. But when the same relationships awaken in Krishna consciousness, one's spiritual life is revived and one is guaranteed to return home. Even though the gopis who were friends of Rohini and Mother Yashoda and who allowed their breasts to be sucked by Krishna were not directly Krishna's mothers, they all had the same chance as Radha to go back to Godhead and act as Krishna's mothers-in-law, servants, and so on. The word sangsar refers to attachment for one's home, for one's body, home, husband, or wife, and children. But although the gopis and other inhabitants of Vrindavan had the same affection and attachment for husband and home, their central affection was for Krishna in some transcendental relationship. And therefore, they were guaranteed to be promoted to Goloka Vrindavan in the next life, to live with Krishna eternally in spiritual happiness. The easiest way to attain spiritual elevation, to be liberated from this material world and to go back home, back to Godhead, is recommended to Vinod Thakur. Krishna rasangsara koro chariyanachar. One should give up all sinful activities and remain in the feet of Krishna. Then one's liberation is guaranteed. Let me just check. Seems like there's been connection issues. Anyways. Kartadhumasya saurabhyam avagraya vrajo kasa kim idam kuta eveti vadanto vrajamayayu. Upon smelling the fragrance of smoke emanating from Putana's burning body, many inhabitants of Vrajabhumi were astonished. Where is this fragrance coming from? They asked. They went to the spot where Putana's body was being burnt. Purport. The aroma of the smoke emanating from a burning fire is not always very favorable. Therefore, upon smelling such a wonderful fragrance, the inhabitants of Vraj were astonished. Te tatra varnitam gopai tanagamanadhikam shrutva tan nidhanang swasti shishoschasan suvismita. The inhabitants of Vraj, who had come from distant places, heard the whole story of how Putana had come and then been killed by Krishna. They were so astonished, and they offered their blessings to the child for his wonderful deed of killing Putana. Nanda Maharaj, of course, was very much obliged to Vasudeva, who had foreseen the incident, and simply thanked him, thinking of how wonderful Vasudeva was. Nanda swaputramadaya pretyagatam udaradi murdhnupagraya paramam mudam lebe kurudvaha. O Maharaj Parikshit, best of the Kurus, Nanda Maharaj was very liberal and simple. He immediately took his son Krishna on his lap as if Krishna had returned from death, and by formally smelling his son's head, Nanda undoubtedly enjoyed incidental bliss. Form his head? Upagraya. I'm not sure about the formally part. Ya etat putmoksham krishnasya Shrunu yachradaya martyo govinde labhate ratim. Any person who hears with faith and devotion about how Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, killed Putana, and who thus his hearing in such childhood pastimes of Krishna, certainly attains attachment for Govinda, the Supreme Original Person. The incident in which the great witch attempted to kill the child, but was killed herself, is certainly wonderful. Therefore, this verse uses the word "uttam," meaning specifically well. Krishna has left us many wonderful narrations of him. Simply by reading narrations as they are described in Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that book, one gains salvation from this material world and gradually develops attachment to and devotion for Govinda, the Adi Purusha. Thus ends Bhaktivedanta purports of the 10th canto, 6th chapter of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, entitled Of the Demon Putana. All right, so we'll read Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur tomorrow, and now we will read about Srivas Pandit. So let's go to VC Vani and also go to Pure Bhakti and see what's there. purebhakti.com. Wow, this is a long class. Super long class. Maybe let's just first read Srila Bharati Marjas because it's very short. And then, okay. Srivas Pandit. This is an excerpt from the katha given by Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Goswami Maharaj on September 5th, 2009. Rising above duality. Those who are not attached to the material world do not get disturbed. One night, while Mahaprabhu was dancing in kirtan at Srivas Pandit's house, Srivas's son died, but he did not feel any sorrow. Instead, he just wanted to ensure that this was the dancing of the Lord. So Srivas Pandit warned him and other family members any commotion by crying aloud and requested the other devotees not to inform Mahaprabhu about the death of his son. Mahaprabhu did it in his heart, yet to teach the people of this world from this incident, he said, "Today I am not feeling the same bliss in kirtan. What has happened? Has any sad event taken place?" Srivas said, What possible unhappiness could there be in that person's house where your divinely blissful contents is seen? Lord, you are yourself all auspicious. Where you are present, no sorrow can be found anywhere. Then the other devotee said, Prabhu, Srivas's son has left his body. Mahaprabhu asked, why did nobody inform me? They replied, since this news would have been an obstacle in your kirtan, Panditji forbade us. Then Mahaprabhu became teary-eyed and said, Srivas has so much love for me. He didn't even feel lamentation at the death of his son. How can I abandon association? He thought, I was planning to leave all devotees and take sannyas. How can I do this now? Then Mahaprabhu went near Srivas Pandit's son's body, touched it, and asked, why have you gone away and left Srivas's house? The boy then spoke, Prabhu, this is an act of your providence. By great fortune, I was given birth in a devotee's house, and I got a chance to hear Harikatha and Kirtan. But due to my destiny, I have to leave. This is what has been sanctioned. The boy was not at all sad. He was nonchalant. He just left. When you travel in a train, you may have a great time with co-passengers in the train. Yes, when their station comes, some of the co-passengers may get down. Do they cry? No. They know that they have to leave, even though they were enjoying your company. So we also know that we have to leave this world sometime or the other. Then, what is the sorrow or fear in this? There should be no fear. Shall we read this? This is a long class. Okay, let's go through it. Okay, let me just check the comments. All right, everything looks good. This is today's Srivas Thakur's disappearance day, but this is a class that Gurudev gave on Srivas Pandit appearance day. First of all, I want to give my hearty blessing, and this is spoken on July 8th, 1999 in Turnbridge, England. First of all, I want to give my heartily blessings to Gopi Vallabh Prabhu, Chitra, Vishak, Madan Mohan Prabhu, and all those who are making this very beautiful arrangement for Harikatha with a very big pandal and facilities for all the devotees. Let me just check to make sure my mic's on. Okay. There may be some lacking here, but I think that you do not care about that. We have not come here for facilities. We have come to hear Harikatha, the pastimes of Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and their associates. There may be some lack, as there is in our Navadvip Parikrama, where there are more than 20,000 pilgrims, where more than 20,000 pilgrims gather, and where you can see an ocean of heads. There may be so many things lacking there, so many pilgrims being hosted under trees, even without trees, here and there, with no etched bathrooms, but only international bathrooms. You can take but you can take bath in the sweet Ganges there. Thousands upon thousands of pilgrims go to take bath in the Ganges, and they never complain about anything, even regarding whether or not they have taken any prasadam. Sometimes there is even no prasadam, although unity. Sometimes there is only khichdi, which is very untasteful, and sometimes even sweet rice. Otherwise, all were satisfied with the khichdi. So here also there may be some lacking in the management, but we are managing only so that the devotees may hear some Harikatha. We have not come for recreation on the shore of an ocean or for holidays. We have come only to hear. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj has brought me here so that you can become stronger and stronger in Krishna consciousness. Today is a very sacred day. It is the day of Srivas Pandit. In this world, this day is considered somewhat of a bad thing. So why do I call this a sacred day? If anyone dies in this world, there is suffering, a feeling of separation. We are also feeling separation today, but actually, today Srivas Pandit joins the Maharas of Krishna, or he went from this world to Vaikuntha to eternally serve his holy master there. He is so happy today. Oh, this is Gurudev's class on Srivas Thakur's disappearance day. It's a wrong title. Where did he go? Did he go to Vaikuntha, or to Ayodhya, or to Dwarka, or to Goloka Vrindavan? Where did he go? Shripad Ashramaj. He went to Sweta of Srivas Thakur, and because he's also Narad Muni, he also went to Vaikuntha. Then Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Where did he go? And Shripad Madhava says, he's always in Svetadvip serving Mahaprabhu, and always in Vaikuntha in the form of Narad Muni. In the form of Madhu Mangal, he is serving as the cowherd friend of Krishna and joking with him in Goloka Vrindavan. Wherever Krishna's pastimes and Mahaprabhu's pastimes are going on, in this planet and so many other planets, Narad is also there. Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Narad Rishi has so many forms. Triple deity, Krishna, forms everywhere with so many manifestations, and Narad Rishi does as well. He is everywhere, in this world, in Vaikuntha, in Dwarka, Svetadvip. In the Madhu Mangal, he is serving Krishna in Sakyaras, and he may serve Srimati Radhika as Srivas Pandit is the same as Narad. As Srivas Pandit, Narad Rishi serves Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srivas Pandit's wife is Malini Devi, who used to serve Nityananda Prabhu like a very little baby. Sometimes Nityananda, quite naked, would sit on the lap and drink her breast milk. At that time, he was about 25 or 30 years of age. But in relation to Malini Devi, he always thought of himself as Baladev, as a little baby. Once, when Malini Devi was weeping, the Prabhu came to her and asked, "Oh, mother, why are you weeping?" She replied, "I had a silver cup full of ghee. A crow came and took it, and Nityananda Prabhu called out, 'Oh, crow, come on, return that silver cup.' After a short time, that crow returns the cup." Mahaprabhu once told Srivas Pandit, "I know you are poor, but Vyas Puja will be at your home, so try to make all the arrangement of Vyas Puja." Srivas replied, "No problem. By your mercy, available at my house. All the necessary items such as cloth, rose water, fragrant flowers, sacred thread, upanayan, ghee, betel nuts, and pan leaves are there in my house. I also have the book that describes how to do Vyas Puja. With great fortune, I will celebrate Vyas Puja tomorrow." What is the importance of Vyas Puja? It is the backbone of all devotees. It is the birthday of Srila Vyasadeva, of whom are manifestations. All knowledge comes from Vyasadeva, all transcendental knowledge. There is still something lacking after he wrote most of the Vedas, but Narad completed that by inspiring him to write Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Vyasadeva divided the Vedas, manifested the Upanishads, so many Puranas, and even the Mahabharata, in which Krishna told Bhagavad Gita Upanishad. He manifested all kinds of required knowledge, but still, he was not happy. His spiritual master Narad came and told him what was still lacking in his literary works. Vyas had told very clearly that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He had not claimed that Krishna was controlled by the gopis. He had not written that Mother Yashoda tied Krishna to a grinding mortar, although he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One day, she refused to take baby Krishna in her lap, saying, "Oh, you are a naughty boy, always stealing butter and gopis." Hearing this, Krishna cried bitterly, rolling on the earth. Vyasadeva had not written that Krishna used to perform the ras dance with all the gopis, and that he was especially controlled by Srimati Radhika. Krishna had personally declared, "I cannot repay the gopis, and especially Radhika. Naparayeham niravadya samyujam susadhyukrityam vibudhayu sapiva yama bhajam durgaya jigge shrinkala samvrishta tadva pratiyatu sadhuna. I am not able to repay my debt for your spotless service, even within a lifetime of Brahma. Your connection with me is beyond reproach. You have worshipped me, cutting off all domestic ties, which are very difficult to break. Therefore, please glorious deeds be your compensation. Vyasadeva had written about the pastimes of Krishna performed in Vrindavan in places like Radhakund. Narad told him that what was lacking, and that was why he was not happy. Following Narad's instructions, Vyasadeva then meditated in trance and took of bhakti. What is of bhakti? It means total surrender to Gurudev. We usually surrender to Gurudev only by words, not by action, not by pure heart, and therefore we may change our views about him. Raseshwari Mataji, understand that. Okay, I should read the Sanskrit. When I do Sanskrit verses, I should read slower. Okay. We usually surrender to Gurudev only by words, not by action, not by pure heart, and therefore we may change our views about him. Sometimes we may even change gurus, just like a man divorces a lady, and you may do so 20 times. Shukadev Goswami never changed his guru. Goswami never changed, and Raghunath Das Goswami never changed. Every guru in our disciplic line is always in this line of Vyas. Vyas followed, and thus he saw all the pastimes of Krishna from boyhood to the end in Dwarka and his chants. His teachings were completed by this. So the meaning of Vyas Puja is to follow Gurudev as Vyasadeva followed his Gurudev, Narad. But the Guru must be like Narad, not a Kali Yuga Guru, a fallen Guru who has no knowledge or realization of the teachings of the Shastras. A Guru must be like Vyas, expert in all Shastras. Such a Guru can remove doubts of his disciples. If one cannot remove his own doubts, how can he remove others' doubts? If a Guru says, I can remove all your problems, you should help by getting some money for me, then he is not really a Guru. If he is dependent on peoples, he is not a Guru. A real Guru will clear all your doubts. He will keep Krishna in your hearts forever. Diksha means Divyagyanam, transcendental knowledge will manifest in your heart, and then Ksha, all kinds of problems, sufferings, and sorrows will disappear at once, just as all darkness disappears on the arrival of the sun. The service of such a Guru is the backbone of a disciple. So Mahaprabhu ordered Srivas Thakur, you should observe Vyas Puja. Srivas Thakur replied, though I am poor, by your mercy everything is in my house, and tomorrow we will do it. The next morning all assembled there. Only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not there. Nityananda Prabhu was waiting for Mahaprabhu. When Mahaprabhu finally arrived, Srivas Pandit complained against Nityananda. I requested Shripad, Nityananda Prabhu, to perform puja. The lotus feet of Krishna are called Shripad. I said, Shripad, please begin Vyas Puja. But he simply made the sounds ha, like a crazy person. Prabhu then requested, Shripad, why are you not beginning the Vyas Puja? You should do it. Nityananda Prabhu became happy. He stood up, took a garland around the neck of Mahaprabhu. Srivas Pandit had been requesting Nityananda garland on the neck of Vyas, represented by a picture, as Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj's picture is here. He was also representing a kalash, a pot that had held within it a coconut and mango leaves, and that had painted on it a sacred swastika. In order to invoke the presence of Srila Vyasadeva during the archan process wherein he would be worshipped, mantras would be uttered before it, like Swagatam, Swagatam, welcome, welcome. Srivas Pandit had been telling Nityananda, give us garlands to Vyasadeva. But Nityananda Prabhu was only mumbling, hoo, ha, waiting for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nityananda Prabhu wanted to show that Krishna is Guru. Although he is the real Guru, husband and beloved and son of all, every soul has an individual relationship with him. He placed the garland on the neck of Mahaprabhu. Everyone present became so happy, and kirtan began. Vyasa means to take an account of how much our heart we have given to our Gurudev, and to measure our bhakti, to see whether we are advancing in bhakti or reducing. As businessmen check daily or weekly their gain losses, by reviewing their activities and their results, Vyasa Puja is the day the disciples make a cash book and ledger. Are you in gain or in loss? If you are not taking this gain account on the day of Vyasa Puja, it means you have no respect for your Gurudev. You have no belief in him, no belief in Krishna, and no bhakti. You are a show bottle devotee. Vyasa Puja ceremony was performed in Srivas Pandit's house. Do you know how strong a devotee he was? He had 4 brothers. Whole day and night, he would meet with them for kirtan. They would continually chant with their big karatals, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Some of the neighbors complained to Muslim Qazi. They told him, he is better than Muslims because he is a Hindu. He is a culprit. And if he and the other Hindus have to sing so loudly, it must mean that their God is blind and deaf. He cannot hear well. They spend their entire disturbances. We can sleep. What should we do? The Qazi, take his house and throw it in the Ganges. Then the other Hindus will be afraid to carry on their disturbances. He then went with his guards to Srivas Pandit's house, where he broke the mridanga, and that place is Kola Bhanga Danga, the place where the Qazi broke the mridanga drum. He also threatened devotees, in the future, you cannot chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You can chant Khuda, God, or Allah, but not so loudly. Don't make so much noise. Don't disturb anyone. But what happened? One of those guards came to the Qazi, the Muslim governor, only chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, as though he had become mad. He wanted to speak, but nothing was coming out except Hare Krishna. The Qazi asked, what happened? The guard replied, oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. The Qazi asked again, what happened? Tell me. He replied, oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Just see how my beard has been burnt. Asked, who burned it? The guard answered, I don't know who burned it, but it burned. And now I anything other than Hare Krishna. This strange thing happened repeatedly there. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu soon heard about the Qazis breaking the mridanga and told his associates, in the evening, burn torches in every home. I shall give protection to everyone. Let us see what kind of Qazi comes to stop our kirtan. He called all his associates for Sankirtan, after which hundreds of thousands of devotees came there. All had torch wood, with the ends wrapped in cloth and dipped in kerosene oil, set ablaze. They all accompanied Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the Qazi's palace, at which time the Qazi thought, oh, a revolution. So many are coming like dacoits, and it be that they will kill me. Seeing this, the Qazi entered his house and locked the door. When Mahaprabhu arrived, he said, oh, where is that Qazi? The devotees totally uprooted the Qazi's garden. Murari Das was laughing like Hanuman and jumping here and there with the desire to burn down the Qazi's house. But Mahaprabhu stopped him and said, the Qazi is like my maternal uncle. And he called out, O Qazi, please come, you are my uncle. In Krishna's pastimes, the Qazi is Krishna's maternal uncle. The Qazi came and opened the door, honored you, and then went inside and they went aside for discussion. Mahaprabhu asked him, "Why do you kill cows? All Hindus consider the cow to be like a mother, and because she gives milk to all, does not discriminate whether one is Hindu or Muslim or Christian. Hindus consider the cow as their mother and the bull as a father. But you kill them and eat their flesh. Why? Can you show me where in the Quran it has been written that you should do so?" The Qazi replied, "I cannot show you. It has not been written that we should slaughter cows. We should respect them. Those whose breast milk you drink are like mothers, and they should be treated as such. But people all over the world take the flesh of these animals along with drinking their milk. Here and there, and especially in America, that those who slaughter cows have now become cows for slaughter. I once saw thousands of cows slaughtered. At first I became so unhappy, but at the next moment I considered, oh, they were previously humans who ate cows, and now as a result of their actions, they have become cows. So you should not consume meat or wine, etc. Otherwise, those animals will surely take revenge. And if they are not taking revenge, then Krishna will make you suffer. All living entities are eternally servants of God. We his family, brothers, sisters, mothers, so we should not eat flesh. Thus the Qazi told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, went to the Hindu's house, broke the drum, and forbade the performance of congregational chanting. In my dreams that very night, I saw a greatly fearful lion, like Nrsingadev, roaring loudly. His body was like a human being's. His face was like a lion. He jumped upon my chest and began to scratch at it. Placing his nails on my chest, the lion said in a grave voice, "I shall immediately bifurcate your chest as you broke the mridanga drum." I then prayed to him, save me, I promise I will never do this again." But he left the mark of his nails on my chest. From now on, no one in my dynasty will ever kill cows. Will they create disturbance to the kirtan party? After this incident, the Qazi's subjects all became like Hindus. Sorry, I fell asleep. I need to sit up. All this occurred because of Srivas Pandit. The kirtan had taken place at his home. He was such a strong devotee. I am seeing that if any small problems arise, for very small ones, you become like crazy persons and are bewildered as what to do and what not to do. You may even give mala and kanti mala. You should try to be like Srivas Pandit. After Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, he would go to Jagannath Puri every year for the Rath Yatra festival. There, Sarup Damodar and Srivas would discuss various subjects. Do you remember this? You should explain. Oh, can we skip along? And yeah, time's almost finished, so I'm gonna skip this. I'll just read this last paragraph. At another time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mood of Krishna said to Srivas, "Give me my flute." Srivas Thakur said, "I can't. The gopis have already taken it." And he began to explain to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu the beautiful pastimes of Ras Leela, honey wine drinking, and playing in the Yamuna. In this way, he too takes pleasure in hearing and speaking about the pastimes of Vrindavan. Therefore, when we heard this from Sarup Damodar, he became greatly ecstatic and began dancing like a madman. Srila Gurudev. Here, Srivas Pandit, like Narad Rishi, very tricky. Devotees of Krishna, especially those in Vrindavan, must be tricky like Krishna. Narad is also tricky and a high class of devotee. He wanted to manifest this Siddhanta, this true philosophy, that Krishna of Vrindavan is like the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But Narayan in Vaikuntha But Narayan and not Narayan and Vaikuntha. Narayan has all kinds of, I fell asleep. Sorry guys. Narada is also tricky and a high class of devotee. He wanted to manifest this Siddhanta, this truth that Krishna of Vrindavan is the supreme personality of Godhead, not Narayan and Vaikuntha. Narayan has all kinds of opulence, and no one is his friend or parent, superior to all. He receives pranam, obeisances from everyone, and blesses everyone, saying, Mangalam Bhavatu, auspiciousness be upon you. It is not at all like this in Vrindavan. What will happen there? Krishna's cowherd friends Sridham and Subal say to him, Oh Shala, what are you doing? Oh Sala, it's not Shala, it's Sala. Oh Sala, what are you doing? You are so naughty and mischievous. If his friends go to his palace and see that he is still in bed, they jump on his bed and say, The cows are waiting here and there, and you're still sleeping? And they pull him out of bed. Sometimes Sridham defeats Krishna, who then smiles and tells him, I have defeated you. He says, No, I have defeated you. One is defeated, his back is flat on the ground. Here Sridham had defeated Krishna and was sitting on his chest, thinking, I have defeated Krishna. But Krishna told him, No, I have defeated you. Sridham asked, How have you defeated me? Krishna replied, My nose is up and your nose is down. Can anyone in Ayodhya or Vaikuntha play like this? Never. There are no friends of Narayan and no father and mother, whereas in Vrindavan, there are thousands of fathers and mothers of Krishna. Krishna became the son of all the gopis and gopas during his Brahma Vimohan Leela, and he became the husband of so many young gopis and the calves of all the cows. He can play in this way. Narayan has one very chaste wife, Lakshmi. Actually, there are three. Lakshmi, Shri, Lakshmi, but one is prominent, and that is Lakshmi. But she can only massage his lotus on her breasts and always offering prayers. On the other hand, here in Vrindavan, Krishna has so many consorts, and all are greater and more beautiful and sweet than Lakshmi. They can all control Krishna. They can tell him, Oh, you should massage my feet, and Krishna will have to massage them. When the gopis are tired and perspire from dancing and singing during Ras Leela, Krishna takes his pitambar, his yellow shawl, wipes away their perspiration. This is a very beautiful scene, the affection and love of Krishna. Such love manifests in Vrindavan, never anywhere else. Who will be so foolish as to not serve Krishna? Do you know Putana? She was a witch who came to kill baby Krishna by the poison on her breasts, but Krishna sucked out the poison and her life and gave her the position like a mother in her next life. So who will be so foolish that giving up to serve others? We must serve Krishna. By his tricky behavior, Narad Rishi inspires Krishna to display various pastimes, and somehow or other, he always manifests the glories of Krishna's devotees. We see in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam how he glorified the high classes of devotees and incarnations of God. In this way, he discovered that the gopis are the best devotees, and that Vrajendra Nandan is the supreme worshipful deity. We should try to make Narad, Srivas Pandit and Mahaprabhu's pastimes, our guru. One second. Do you know how strong a devotee Srivas Pandit is? One day he was doing kirtan with many devotees in his courtyard, Srivasangan. While Mahaprabhu was dancing and singing with his associates, Srivas Pandit's only son died. All of Srivas's brothers' wives and all the neighbors' wives were weeping while Srivas was attending the. At that time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I'm not feeling so happy. Something is going on. What is it? No one would tell him the news because Srivas Pandit all those who were surrounding the boy and weeping. If you weep loudly and if the dancing and singing of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's kirtan is disturbed, I will jump in the nearby Ganges. They continued weeping, but not loudly. One of the devotees approached Mahaprabhu and whispered in his ear, "The boy has died, and inside they are all still weeping. The dead body is there." Mahaprabhu stopped his kirtan and asked, "Why did you not tell me this before?" He went inside and said, "Boy, where have you gone? You're sleeping. At once wake up." A very wonderful thing happens then. By Mahaprabhu's mercy, life returned in the dead body of the boy. The boy stood up and began to talk. Mahaprabhu asked, "Why have you left your father and mother here? You were okay here." The boy replied, "I was not happy here. I have had so many hundreds of thousands of fathers and mothers from so many births. At the beginning of this creation, I have been the father or mother of so many. Who is my father? I don't recognize him. I don't want to be here. I have so many facilities now. I want to go to where I've now taken birth. In this world, those who have taken birth must die. You should realize that it is not yourself. This world is full of so many problems: birth, death, suffering, and sorrows. Babies will, after some time, become old, like me, and after that, they'll be one, and they will not be able to walk. They will say with false ego, 100 years old, but they don't consider that their 100 years have passed. Going here and there, taking wine, eggs, and meat, and thinking that they will all be very strong by that. But they don't know that very soon they'll become old. Their organs will all be weak, and after some time, they will not be able to walk. The government will give them retirement pension, and after that, they'll have to go to old age homes. Their children will not care about them, and after some time, they'll not be able to breathe properly. Overcome by coughing, they will have to die. Body is very rare. After millions of births, you have received this body, so don't waste it. From this moment, try to become a pure devotee. Follow Krishna, always chanting and remembering Krishna under the guidance of a very qualified, realized guru. Thus, come in the process of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Rupa Goswami and be happy forever. This endless chain of birth and death, the actions of your past activities, bad and good, will be finished by chanting the holy name. It is essential to chant the name in the proper process in order that it become the pure name. If you have any worldly desires while chanting, then your worldly desires will be fulfilled and you will be like zero. Do you understand what I have told? Suppose you are chanting Hare Krishna, but in your heart you are thinking, some money should come, wealth should come, a very beautiful girlfriend or boyfriend should come. I should have a very beautiful, powerful car and a very beautiful royal palace. I should always travel in high-class airplanes, newly made in France, that is faster than the speed of sound. In that case, your youth and your life will be ruined. The son of Srivas Pandit continued, "Now that I have taken the very beginning of my life, I will chant and remember Krishna. So I don't want to return here." Then Madhav Maharaj asks, Mahaprabhu's pastime is going on at Srivas Pandit's, and Srivas Pandit is an associate of Mahaprabhu. Why leave that situation? Then Srila Gurudev says, because birth in Krishna's pastimes, which is the fruit of association with Mahaprabhu and his associates, he had taken birth from the womb of a gopi, and this was the causeless mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is why he did not want to return. If that boy other place, certainly he would have wanted to return. He was realizing that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was none other than Krishna himself, and by his mercy, he had come in the womb of any gopi. Therefore, that boy refused to come back. Let us not waste our time. Let us be fully surrendered with great faith in Krishna and his name. Krishna has invested all his power, mercy, opulence, and qualities in the name Krishna. In fact, he has made his name even superior to himself. No one can touch Krishna by any one mortal senses. But Krishna has performed, which is that anyone, even a very wretched or foolish person like Jagai or Madhai, can chant his name whether or not his chanting is pure. That name will become pure by the mercy of as long as the chanter is not committing any offense. If you're committing offenses like criticizing a Vaishnava, and you have great regard for all, thinking all beings are eternal servants of Krishna, and I am as well, then you can have a relationship with everyone. We should honor all. We should do pranam to all, as has been told in Bhagavad Gita and Chaitanya Charitamrita. Suppose someone is worshiping Krishna and taking bath in the Ganges with the understanding that this Ganges water is a tirtha. The ocean is a mahatirtha. Still, if that person is not honoring devotees, not thinking that Krishna is present in all living beings, not regarding all beings, he is not a pure devotee. Sa eva gokara. He is an animal, and among the animals, he is like a donkey. The donkey runs after his wife and gets kicked by her hind legs. When Chaitanya heard the boy's words, he said to his mother, "Do you want this boy?" She replied, "I have received my son, yourself. I am happy for that. I am happy for that boy. Now he can go anywhere he likes." Everyone thus became happy. This is a wonderful pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but it was due to Srivas Pandit. If any problem comes to you, always be strong like Srivas Pandit. There are so many things to say about him, how he took birth in his pastimes as Narad Rishi. He was already in Goloka Vaikuntha and Vrindavan. At the very beginning of this creation, Krishna wanted to come here. He therefore manifested from the throat of Brahma. What is the meaning behind this? Narad is always playing a very sweet sound on his veena as he chants Hare Krishna. Narad Muni Bhaja Veena Radhika Ramana Name. He is the master of all raga and ragini, Vedic arrangement of musical notes. Sare Gama Padani. All these sounds have come from the strings of his veena, on which he plays so many transcendentals. From where did he learn all this? Srimati Radhika is his guru. Ultimately, all ragas, raginis come from her ankle bells. He learned from Radhika's ankle bells. So he manifested in this world from the throat of Brahma and began to chant, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Brahma told him, "O son, I need to follow my orders. Where are you going?" Narad replied, I went to follow my brothers, 4 Kumaras, Sanak, Sanandana, Sanatan, and Sanat. As soon as his brothers had been born from Brahma's mind, they were always chanting Krishna's name, and they wanted to go forth to perform austerities. They left and never followed their father's order that they marry and beget many children to fill the world with human beings. Then Narad was born, and Brahma ordered that he also married life, but he also refused. Brahma repeatedly requested him to remain at home, and when he would become mature, he would marry and have many children. Although Brahma warned him, "If you do not obey me, I will have to curse," Narad did not obey him. He went to the forest to chant Krishna's name, at which time Brahma became very angry and said, You will take birth in a family of Gandharvas, heavenly singers, and Kinnaras. There you'll have to marry thousands of Apsaras, heavenly angels, and you'll be dancing and singing with thousands. Narad replied, "I may go there, but I will not marry." Thus, Narad became a Gandharva of heaven named Ubabarhan. He was there dancing, but always remembering Krishna. One day, Brahma ordered him, "I am going to Pushkar, and you should come there with your whole family. You will have to dance there as an invocation." Narad went there and began to dance naked in a very wrong way. He wanted his father and give him another curse so that he'd be free from that life. Brahma surely became angry and said, "You don't remember that I cursed you before, and you had come in Gandharva? Now I will curse you again. You will go to the earth now, and birth from a Sudrani, a low-caste woman." Narad was then born from the womb of a Sudrani. As a young boy, he received the mercy of his brothers, who instructed him in Krishna consciousness. Soon after, he was given a mantra. His mother was bitten by a snake and died, and he took this as an opportunity to leave home and go. He went into a very deep, dense forest and continuously chanted that mantra. After some time, he became perfect, and Narayan, his worshipful deity, gave him darshan. You have been chanting for so many years, some devotees for 15 or 16 years, and some for longer, but you are not experiencing a consciousness. You are very weak, always dependent on money or some position. You are not very surrendered. For thousands upon thousands of years, you have been attached to family, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, and you are now also chanting without the Krishna conscious result. Be that some worldly happiness will come from such chanting. You can become Indra or a very wealthy person, or you can become like Bill Clinton and become attached to any office girl. You cannot control your minds, but still you are chanting Hare Krishna. Like Narad, he was fully absorbed in his chanting, not knowing where he was or who his body belonged to. Krishna came to him in the form of Narayan, so we should try to do like him. If you are engaged in one point, quite absorbed in having faith in your Guru and Krishna's words, Krishna will surely come and give you darshan. If one knows the mantra for snake and he utters that mantra, a poisoned person's snake poison will go down. Why is our chanting of Hare Krishna not giving us perfection? Krishna's name is so powerful. All powers are there. Nam namaka tartarpita niyamita smaranena kala itadrishi tava kripa bhagavan mamapi durdaiva midrishamiha janina anuraga. Shikshashtakam, verse 2. What is the meaning? Shripad Padmanabha Maharaj. Krishna has empowered his holy names with incidental shakti, potencies. There are no hard and fast rules for these names. Out of kindness and mercy, Krishna has allowed us to approach him through these holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have attachment to these holy names. Wow, this is such a long class. Here it is, Gurudev. Here it is said that the holy name has no rules and regulations. We can chant it during the day or night, sitting on our bed, without taking bath or washing the mouth, in the morning, evening, daytime, at any time, such as when walking. But we should try to follow Srivas and Narad. Narad was initiated by his 4 Brahmanas, and Srivas Pandit was also initiated by a high-class Vaishnava with Bhagavatam. If at the time of initiation you have received the holy name from a pure guru, then that name will be powerful, and Krishna will come to you. For example, Narad's gurus Sanatan, and Sanat gave him a mantra, after which he very easily received the darshana. If your guru is like that, and you are following like Narad, then Shuddhanam, the powerful transcendental name, will manifest in your heart. On the other hand, if your guru is fallen, 2 rounds, or sometimes not chanting at all, and after some time he also falls externally, that holy name will not be so strong. Potency will be there. And without potency, your chanting will only give you a shadow of the name. Liberation may come, or worldly wealth may come, but you will not get Krishna Prem. Try to follow all these teachings and be Srivas Pandit. Even if someone takes your whole wealth and position, and you become poor like him. One day Srivas Pandit said to Mahaprabhu, clapping his hands. 1, 2, 3. Mahaprabhu asked, "What are you doing?" Again Srivas Pandit said, 1, 2, 3. Mahaprabhu inquired, "Why are you doing that?" Then Srivas Pandit explains, "We're chanting and remembering Krishna throughout the day and doing nothing for our maintenance. If there's nothing to eat in my house today, then I'll wait. On the second day, I'll also wait. If nothing comes on the third day, no harm. But if nothing comes, I will jump in the Ganges. I will not do anything but chant and remember." Mahaprabhu told him, "This can never happen to a devotee like you. The goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, may have to beg anywhere, but my devotees or Krishna's devotees, but not my devotees or Krishna's devotees. You must believe in this. Go on chanting. Krishna's name is more merciful than Krishna himself. Have faith in that. But that name should come from a reliable or bona fide guru." Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai, she said, I'm going to do short Jai Dwani because it's so late. Jai, Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Vinod Vihari Ju Ki Jai, Jai Srila Gurudev Ki Jai, Jai Srila Param Gurudev Ki Jai, Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Swapashaji Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopigan Ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai, Shri Srivas Thakur Ki Jai, Shri Srivas Pandit Ki Jai, Todiya Shubha Bhav Titi Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Ki Jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Jai Jagannath Ki Jai. Nice. Rup Manjari Didi Dashina Jagannath. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavataya Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Sorry for falling asleep so much today. Whenever I'm up for Mangalarti, I get tired at this time. Haribol. Hare Krishna Shashramaji. See you all tomorrow for Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary on the story of Putana. And tomorrow is also Akadashi. Cool.